What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar. In this video that I prepared for you today, we're going to talk about 3 different altcoins, all related to the Binance ecosystem. BNB, of course, the Binance exchange token. We're going to talk about ASTER, which is Binance's latest perpetual DEX love child project. And then the long forgotten pancake swap, which I say long forgotten only because the chart, if we're looking at the chart, actually, it's pretty desolate, it's pretty boring, but it's not so forgotten these days, right? We look at Dex Screener. Pancake Swap is what's running all these meme coins, you guys. Binance, BNB, Smart Chain, that's what it is. Look at, I've never seen, man, this whole market, it's just been Solana. It has just been Solana. Now it's all Binance, okay? It is all Binance, okay? Anybody who is saying that Sol is going to overtake Ethereum, you might have second guesses here, but this is not about Solana. This is about Binance. It's crazy. And this might just be seasonal. Is it a fad? Is it here to stay? We'll see. Time will tell. But we're going to talk about BNB. We're going to talk about ASTER, and then we're going to talk about Pancake Swap Cake in this video. So if that sounds good to you, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here, and let's get started, okay? Here we are at about $1,300 for BNB. 5 days, 8 hours left. I remember whenever we were at $1,000 talking about how this thing was going to probably launch to, I think these prices exactly, if I'm not mistaken, maybe a little higher. Let's see. High to low here. Yeah, something that was above $1,200. That's what we were talking about. Maybe all the way up to about $1,600, $1,560, something like that in that kind of area. We're definitely at a point where we could top off, but don't be surprised if we keep reaching higher. I highly doubt BNB gets above $1,600 without correcting some bit, without consolidating some degree and then moving higher. But I do believe that overall we will see higher prices. Overall, BNB will likely be worth several thousands of dollars by the end of the cycle. I mean, what's BNB's market cap right now? Overall, let's see. Market cap, it's number 3, replacing XRP. Wow. $177 billion. Yeah, I could see this, you guys, hitting $1 trillion market cap by the end of the cycle. Absolutely. So being here, I mean, we could see not $10,000, but something above 5,000 for sure. I definitely see that happening. Anyways, looking at this right now, looking at the short-term stuff, we look at the 1 hour time frame, and then we zoom out from there. Looking at the 1 hour time frame, the RSI is immaculate, stochastics are immaculate, and so is the MACD. We look at the 4 hour time frame, it's all bullish. There's no implications of weakness at all. Yes, we're selling off here, but no. I don't think that it's time to consider that we're going to really consolidate for too long of a time. I haven't seen enough to be convinced of that. We look at the daily time frame, and and this bearish divergence. We look at this here, you guys. Look at this. High here, lower high here. You had bearish divergence, okay? Right there, but you just got rid of it. If today closes here or higher, how do we know that you've gotten rid of it? Because now you have a higher high in your RSI. There is no bearish divergence, which means that this was a false look, which means that you're literally just getting started. You have more to go, probably. A little bit of bearish divergence on the stochastics, but there's no real signs of weakness here either. I would think, looking at this now for BNB, I feel a lot more confident now, and especially with all the hype that BNB is receiving right now, that Binance is receiving as an ecosystem. I would very much think that $1,600 is where we're going to stop. We're probably going to continue to grow until we see that, and then you'll consolidate between there and $1,000, and then you'll continue to rally, okay? BNB will consolidate. Altcoins will rally while it's consolidating, right? When the top dogs consolidate, oftentimes that's whenever their constituents rally. It's definitely looking very bullish here, you guys. So overall, very bullish on BNB. Weekly indicators are immaculate. You are overbought on a lot of these. The MACD is showing some of the strongest readings that you've seen since last cycle's high. But we're looking, let me see here, hold on. Looking into the future, high to low, are there any targets that line up between 5K and 10K on these fibs? 5.7K right there at the 2618, the double golden extension. That would be about a 4.5x from here, 4.5x on 178 billion. Let's just say 180 to make it easy. So that would be $730 billion. Oh no, plus the half. That would be, what is that? 810. That'd be an $810 billion market cap. Hold on, you guys. Hold on one second. $810 billion market cap, hitting $1 trillion, just under $1 trillion at least. So with that, I would think even we could see higher prices. Perhaps we do go all the way up to $8,000, but I would think somewhere between 5,700 and 8,100. That's likely where we're going to go, somewhere in that area right there. Yeah, that'd be my expectation by the end of the cycle. Anyways, moving on to ASTER. If anybody catches my drift. Anybody watch The Office? I love The Office. ASTER here, USD. Should we do? I think we should do the perpetuals. Now, we don't have a lot of historical data with this one. A lot of people know how I feel about ASTER. I'm thinking about how money moves, right? Today I've made a lot of videos talking about how money moves and how we cycle through things in crypto. And in stocks, in reality, that's just what happens, right? Whatever's hot today, the next thing that's going to be hot, it's going to look like this thing that's hot right now, but it's going to be different. It's going to be its own version, right? Like Hyperliquid was really hot until ASTER came along, right? ASTER's really hot right now. BNB's really hot. What's next in line? Cake, right? Because it's all part of the same ecosystem. That's why we're talking about these three things today. Anyways, ASTER right now, very high market cap. Very, very high market cap in ASTER. Where are you? Where are you on this list? You're not on this list. Let me type you in here. ASTER. Number 37. $3.4 billion, okay? It's not a high market cap for crypto. I mean, that is high for crypto. You're in the top 100, but it's not the most crazy valuation. However, you're brand new. You came out in September, and you're already worth billions of dollars. You are affiliated with Binance, but I do assume some kind of dramatic drop is going to take place. And in that drop, I think we're going to see a lot of value go into Cake, genuinely. I think Cake is the next play, you guys. ASTER dropping here, it'll probably drop, I would think, from an overall high to its low, it would probably drop 60% or more. So 60% drop would take us down to where these kind of prices were at inception, around $1 or below $1. I'm very convinced that ASTER does drop $1. If you can't be pumping now while BNB is doing its thing, while the Binance Smart Chain is doing its thing, it's because you're already at your pinnacle. You're going to drop. Coins that come out that are worth this much at the beginning, they always sell off. It's going to come back. It's going to see new all-time highs. Undoubtedly it will. But right now, it's time to sell. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but right now, I don't think that it's time to buy. You're building volume here on the 1 hour time frame, and you're not going anywhere. You're building volume again, and you're not going anywhere. That's because you're selling. A lot of volume at the highs. Hello, selling. Getting rejected off your RSI, off the overbought zone, instead of getting into it, not good. Stochastics look bearish, and the MACD is about to cross down to the zero. We look at the 4 hour time frame. A little bit lackluster on the MACD. Not enough to be completely bearish, but not enough to be bullish either right now. Stochastics look bearish, would suggest days of downside to come at the very least, right? We're looking at the 4 hour time frame, so this is the days ahead. And the RSI as well, you know, instead of getting into the overboughts on here, rejecting the 60 area, you look like you want to go lower as well, right? I think it's very clear, the writing's on the wall. What you're getting set up for is an M pattern right here. You've got an M pattern. We're not going to look at the daily or the weekly time frames because it's just so new, but I think that's exactly what's going to happen. And once you get below this level here, once you get below about $1.80, that's when you should see this move really take off, and you'll probably see prices rapidly approach something in this area here of about $1.38 to $1.29. You'll consolidate, you'll move back up, form a lower high, and continue to drop lower until you see prices at around $1 or below. Once we're there, I'll be bullish on ASTER. Until then, or until I see something different to invalidate me, I'm wrong. Invalidate me, get above about $2.30. Then I would say even close the day above $2.25, and then I'm wrong, okay? But that's ASTER. ASTER, I think, has a lot of promise. But again, the idea of where does the money flow? It was Solana. It went into Plasma for a second. You guys remember Plasma for the whole day that it was around? Yeah, this one right here. Everything was filled with Plasma. Now it's Binance. It's all Binance. It's all PancakeSwap. And Binance is the biggest institution in crypto. It is one of the most robust ecosystems that exists. And BNB itself is now the #3 crypto. It's flipped XRP. It's flipped XRP, right? There's a lot more going on with BNB. And with that, I think PancakeSwap has a very strong chance to transition into some top spots here. If we look at Cake right here, it's got a $1.4 billion market cap, and that's high. That's a high market cap valuation. But this thing's been around for a while, okay? Cake has been around since last cycle. It says November. Was it September 2020 that it came about? I can't remember. I would assume so, right? If it's here on, this has to be the all-time history. I want to do USDT and just see on Binance if there's less of it. Yeah, there is less of it, so we're not going to do that. We'll just keep it here on the crypto chart. Cake, while being actively dormant this cycle, really since October 2023, you haven't really moved at all. You've just been consolidating in this area. Actively dormant, I think you're starting to come alive. And again, ASTER profits, BNB profits, Binance hype flowing into PancakeSwap. It just makes so much sense that this is what's going to happen, okay? I want to look at this real quick. Just look at some of the token dynamics first. Loading up. I love all these little tools that you have on CoinMarketCap, you guys. It really is great. Volume to market cap ratio, that's a lot. That's crazy. Total supply is this. Circulating supply is this. So inflation is not really going to hurt this thing too much. We look at the all-time history and the price. We look at the market cap. The market cap has not been hurt nearly as badly as the price has been, but still pretty comparable. But that's probably because, again, some unlocks have happened, whatever. PancakeSwap, now that you're at the precipice of most of your unlocks happening, you have this flat point of resistance here. Higher lows, flat top there. You guys, when you break out, this thing's going to rally. It's going to steal the spotlight. It's going to do exactly what Aster did. You're going to get a 4x in one day. You're going to get a 5x in one day. You're going to see this thing rip and rally. By the end of the month, we're going to be all the way up at $23 to potentially $42. There's a lot going on with these tokens, okay? Aster going down, short opportunity. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Sell now while you can, or even short. BNB probably goes up a little bit more. But what BNB is doing, and as far as its all-time high potentials, is just a statement to what the rest of its ecosystem and its constituents will do, right? And what's good for the top 3 coins, the top 10 coins, is typically good for the rest of the market as well. And BNB is loving it right now. Cake, being the lowest market cap of these coins that we've talked about so far, I think is the very obvious choice for what's going to happen. This month, it's already up 63%. This month, it's the 7th today. We're 1 week into this month. Not even a full week yet. And you're up 64%. What's the average coin up this month? Others, let's just see. We look at others, the average coin is up 4%. You're outperforming the average coin right now, right at the precipice of alt season. I think you're going to continue to outperform. I really do think that we're going to see some spectacular growth. We take the all-time high here to the low. The expectation therein would be that we go to the golden ratio at a minimum by the end of the month, which would be 1050 to 1380. I think will be higher. I think we'll see something at $20 to $30 by the end of the month. That would be anything from about a 4.7x to about a 6.9x, okay, by the end of the month with PancakeSwap. By the end of the cycle, fully anticipating new cycle highs, fully anticipating that. $123, what a serendipitous number, 123, right there at the 1272. That'd be about a 30x. Now, if you guys know my theory on the altcoin markets, I theorize that this chart here, the other chart, will see the 2272. We will be going to the 2272 by the end of the cycle. With the 2272, little fun fact, you don't typically stop right at the line. You actually wick through it, and then you come down below it afterwards. So with that in mind, a little bit above the 2272 would give us roughly about a 20 to a 21x in the crypto space. 21x, 20x, whatever. That's the expectation for the average altcoin. Cake's minimum target, its minimum target, outperforms that by about 10x. Okay? Let me say that again. The average altcoin by the end of this cycle, not by the end of the month, not by the end of the year, but sometime in Q2 of 2026, by the end of this cycle, the average altcoin is expected to do a 21x. Cake is expected to do a 30x at a minimum. Average expectation, minimum expectation. By the end of this cycle, we could genuinely see something on the lines of a 100x for Cake, which would be crazy. 100x from a $1.4 billion valuation puts it at $140 billion, which when you look at BNB, that's really, and right now BNB is at $177 billion. That's a lot. But in the end of the cycle, whenever it's projected to see an 800 to 1 trillion, maybe even above a $1 trillion market cap by the end of the cycle, 10% of that, or even less than 10% of that, is not that much. $140 billion in respects to that, I think it's very appropriate, actually. Cake might see 100x, it might not, but that would be the maximum that I'd give it, right? $451 by the end of the cycle. That's the maximum expectation. That's the minimum expectation. So let's get to the meat of it, right? Typically with the 1414, just like the 2272, you don't go to it to find resistance. You typically go just above it to find resistance. So something just above the 1414. Let's say you stop at like $230, whatever. That's about a 56x from here. which again outperforms the average altcoin by like 2.5 times. Okay, a lot of bullish things going on with Cake. It's one of those projects that's in the top 100, outside the top 50, that has 100x potential, that has even multi-100x potential. I mean, genuinely, I don't believe we see prices above 451. I'm very confident that we don't, but you could. I mean, if you want to see a multi-$100 billion market valuation, don't let my prediction stop you. You go all the way up here. You're 1886. Look at that. 123. It's 123 at this fib, and then this fib is 1234. That's so serendipitous. I mean, maybe you go all the way up there. Maybe you see a 300x, and with that, you'd probably be at about a $400 billion valuation. It's a lot of money, but still could happen. I don't know. Binance could be really hot, and especially the decentralized ecosystems in that nature. PancakeSwap is definitely a tool to be utilized in the crypto space, as we can see here, right? Pump Fun, Solana, they've had their fun, but Binance sees he's coming for it, man. He's got a taste, and he's like, oh, man, we're tapping into this. We're tapping hard. It's going to be a tap-tap-a-roo. At a minimum, 123 or more by the end of the cycle. Somewhere around $10 to $30 by the end of this month. We're at $4 now. I got nothing else for you. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I hope you enjoyed this 3-part video. Things look very bullish. I mean, let's look at the short-term stuff, because you are up 60% right now this month. Let's just see how you're looking on the short term. And I'll actually do this, since we're looking at the short term, let's do the Binance chart. Volume's building. I mean, you look fine. A little bit of bearish divergence here. Maybe you're at $4 and 11 cents now. Maybe you come back down to $3.70, and that's fine. But you look good, man. You're going to continue to rally. I got nothing else for you. Maybe you come back to 360. But maybe you don't. I don't know. That's a lot of volume at the top. I would think you come back to 360, 320 at the lowest, and then you continue to rally. This month will be really good for PancakeSwap. I very much do. I mean, you're about to break, man. If you think this is great, this 64% up that you are the last 2 weeks, it's nothing compared to what the rest of the month is going to offer. You're going to break out of this range that you've been in since November of 2023. You're going to break out of a multi-year phase. You're going to see something that represents that. Okay, it's going to be larger than anything we've seen in a long time. You'll rip all the way up to $10 or more. I'm telling you, by the end of this month. Anyways, take care. See you on the next one. Bye bye.